It's Saturday night, and the main event is here for you right now. It's the official Baltimore Ravens post-game show, brought to you by the Flex Zone podcast, only place giving you your sports how you want it when you need it. Not a happy recap from Cleveland. Ravens fall 13-3 to the Cleveland Browns, dropping their record to 9-5 with 3 games remaining, falling out of first place in the AFC North, now trailing the Bengals by half the game. God's favorite host, Big Raj. You guys know the drill. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, sack it, and stick that like button, and bulldoze that bell. It's Flex Zone Podcast, official Baltimore Ravens postgame show. We're going to break it down as only we can here on the channel. Colder than the weather in Cleveland, include some snow in there because that's just how the game went. It got terrible. It got awful. It is the Flex Zone Podcast, official Baltimore Ravens post-game show. God's favorite host here with my brother Big Raj on the only place giving you sports how you want it, Raj.
When you need it.
How you feeling, Raj? Let the people know what's going on and how to keep up with us and what we got going on the channel.
Well, we got plenty of things going on the channel. We got Ravens postgame, which is right now. We have a show coming up on Monday, of course, at 10 p.m. AEW on Wednesdays, and more pre-game shows for the Ravens next game, and post-game shows, which will be the Atlanta Falcons next week.
Make sure you guys vote on the poll, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell. We're not going to waste too much time. We're going to get right into it. Saturday game always are weird to me in the NFL, Raj. I know we're not the biggest fans of them, but Ravens go to Cleveland, score only 3 points. I think I heard the least amount of points since the Joe Flacco era, only 3 points. They lose to the Browns 13-3. Deshaun Watson's home debut for the Browns. Ravens fall half game back of the AFC North lead, falling to 9-5. Bengals are at Buccaneers tomorrow. They're favorite. They probably will win. What went wrong today for the Ravens, Roger, and how you feeling, man, after this game?
Let me just say this real quick. I hate Saturday games. I hate them. I don't like them. I wish it was on Sunday. We probably still would have lost, but I wish it was at Sunday at 1 o'clock. That's what I'm used to. That's what I hope for. But today was a Saturday 4:30 game. I really wasn't expecting much. I mean, I thought we could win, but we didn't. But a lot of things went wrong today. A lot of things. Special teams looked garbage today. The kicking game was awful with Justin Tucker missing 2 field goals. One of them blocked. Tyler Huntley looked like he had a concussion. Okay. He looked like he wasn't cleared from the concussion protocol. He looked terrible out there. A lot of missed throws. And he just looked bad. The good news is, the good thing, J.K. looked good again. J.K. was rolling. He was doing his thing, and Gus looked good as well. When they got the ball, they was getting about 4 or 5 yards a pop, and they was moving the chains. They was doing their job. But the passing game was awful. The wide receivers were terrible. Duvernay was trash. Prochet, I think Mark Andrews had a drop as well. He didn't look that good today. Well, he hasn't looked good for the last 3 to 4 weeks. Let's just say that he's looked suspect. And just the play calling in general was awful. So it's terrible, man. It's terrible. I don't know what this team is doing. I don't understand what the play calling is half of the time. They should have ran the ball all the time in this game. They should not have thrown it. Not maybe a couple of times here and there, but every time they threw the ball, they lost momentum, or they lost yards on the play. I believe at halftime, and now correct me if I'm wrong, I think the wide receivers had a -1 at halftime. They gained no yards. They had a -1. So
You are
go
correct. And real quick, while it's on my mind, wide receivers for the Ravens, no receiving touchdown since week 3.
and I think the last person that had one was Bateman, I believe. I think he was the last person that had a touchdown. So yeah, man, it's awful. This team right now is in flux. It's not looking good. I think they got a lot of work to do. And a lot of things they're gonna have to really feel this one because it's just like you got all these excuses, but yet the media, the local news media, YouTube, everybody has seen your flaws, man. We do not have any skill positions, skill positions special wide receivers at the skill position. We don't have any special. We don't have no number ones, no number twos. It is clear as day right now. It is clear as day, and the play calling is terrible, and it's just being shown right now. And they had all the opportunity in the world to win this game. They could have beat Cleveland. They had plenty of opportunities to win. They were trying to hand us the game, but it's just a lot of mistakes, a lot of drop balls, a lot of miscommunication, and then when they're in the red zone again, they're either turning over the ball or they trying to go for it on fourth down. It's just a bunch of silly stuff.
Let's talk about the miscues before we break it down offensively and defensively. Their first was at their second drive, 4th and 1, going for it instead of taking 3 on the road. Give it to Ricard on a fullback dive. Terrible play call. Missed field goal before the half would have tied the game. Then the red zone interception on the slant to Deshaun Jackson. That was just terrible all around. Denzel Ward gets the interception. Tucker had a field goal blocked. First time Justin Tucker has missed 2 field goals since 2018, December 22nd, 2018, so almost 4 years to the day. Defense gives up a 91-yard touchdown drive to Deshaun Watson. Demarcus Robinson, fumble, can't forget that. And then we had the play clock, that fourth down where they just let the play clock run down and didn't use their timeouts when they could have gathered themselves and made a better play. And then you throw it to Prochet and he drops the ball. And then the Browns give you, like you said, Raj, give you opportunities. They missed 2 straight field goals and you don't capitalize. And we've said it since Lamar Jackson has been a quarterback, and it has been tried and true. If this team has to play from behind, they're in trouble.
They're in serious trouble, and yet again today was another example of it. They don't have like I said, we've been saying it, we've been screaming it. They don't have the weapons to do none of these things, and their whole offense is elementary. So if they're behind at least 10 points half of the time, I'm in fear if they can come back or not. Sometimes they do, and a lot of times they don't. And today was a defensive game, so the Ravens just couldn't move the ball. Well, they could move the ball, they just couldn't get in the end zone yet again. And when it was in field goal range, they couldn't capitalize because of the conditions and the blocked field goal and the fact that they went for it on 4th and 1. But I don't know, man. This team right now is just. I'm not going to say they're in total chaos because they're still fighting hard. They're still playing hard. The defense is still okay at times, but it's just like the offense is not giving them anything right now. And with Lamar being hurt, it's just not it's not going to get any better. I hope Lamar comes back next week. But now I'm like, I mean,
Let me ask you this. I think this. Lamar deserves his money, yes. But would
yeah,
it really be a difference with Lamar at quarterback, even with him playing? I don't think they would have did much more today either, even with Lamar personally.
I hate to say this, man. Even if Lamar comes back, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And it's not his fault. I'm not saying this has nothing to do with him or his ability or anything like that, because he has carried this team to this type of record. So he's carried them. But this is not his fault, and not at all. But I see
Yeah.
special.
Our guys in the building, Engraven. Appreciate you, brother.
man, Brian and Engraving, what's going on?
Shout out to Brian as well.
But yeah, man, I don't think it would have mattered if Lamar would have been out there. It wouldn't have mattered because
And I don't think he's going to be 100% next week within a week.
he's not. And I wouldn't rush him back. I would not rush him
I
back.
said Pittsburgh at the earliest when he got hurt. At the earliest, Pittsburgh.
I would not rush him back. I understand we need him right now. We really need him right now just to stay in the race with Cincinnati. Hopefully, praying that they lose to the Buccaneers tomorrow. But I don't see it happening, and I don't want Lamar to get hurt. I really don't. To have a serious injury. We seen Calais Campbell go down. We seen Marcus Peters go down. I'm not sure how serious those injuries are. We'll find out in the coming days, but I don't want our quarterback to get hurt at all. And I'm if you got to start Tyler Huntley next week on Christmas Eve, I go for it. Even though he looked terrible today, I would still go for it. But yeah, bro, I just don't know, man. I don't think this offense would have looked better at all with Lamar. I don't, because like I said before, the skill positions are definitely looking terrible. Prochet he's terrible right now. And Robinson, that fumble, man, like, what are you doing, bro? Like, squeeze the ball tight.
Remember, he had a fumble on the first drive, I think, that went out of bounds. And that was how they got the negative yards, because he went backwards and they knocked the ball out. That could have been a touchdown or easy short field for Cleveland. That was one he missed.
Yeah, that was one that he missed. You're right. And I forgot about that play. But yeah, it was just a lot of those plays, man. It was just like they were lackadaisical. They were, loosey-goosey with the football. And they didn't come to play. They didn't come to play at all. So it was one of those games, man.
And what blew me as we get into the offense, they had a third and like 14, 15. They do a great play to Justice Hill on a screen. And then you don't see anything else like that the entire game. You don't use your speed. Justice Hill is like another receiver. He can get yards after the catch. They don't get any yak. Like I said, the receivers, no touchdown since week 3. Andrews, I don't think Andrews is healthy either. He's playing with one arm. And I mean, let's look at the offense, though. Hundley, 17 of 30. Once I saw he threw the ball for 30 times, I knew we were in trouble. 138, 4.6 per attempt, 1 interception. He was sacked 3 times, I think, back-to-back plays at the end of the game. Myles Garrett got him. But your thoughts on Tyler Huntley real quick before we get into the running game, which was the bright spot of the offense.
He struggled at times, man. He struggled. That ball looked terrible coming out of his hands at times. Now, don't get me wrong. He made a couple plays here and there. He wasn't completely awful, but it's just like he was off. He was off the whole week. It was like he missed a lot of practice time, and they were running the routes. Some of the routes that they ran, he overthrew the dudes, and it was a cluster Franklin of epic proportions out there. But like you said, if he had to throw it 30 times, it was a problem. That was a problem. I did not want to see him throw it 30 times, and everybody knows that he struggles with the deep ball. He is not a good deep ball passer. He's usually, a short yard passer type of quarterback, and he made some of those plays look pretty good. I mean, when they caught the ball, but you knew if it was like 3rd and 10 or 3rd and 15 or whatever, you knew that we were not getting that first down. You just knew it, especially if you had to throw it. You knew that wasn't going to happen. But he was okay, but you see the difference between him and Lamar. If they're in the red zone, Lamar more times than not is not going to throw that pick that he threw to Deshaun Jackson. That's not happening. Or the play where he it was another play that he did. I can't think about it. I can't think of it right now. But he did another play that I was scratching my head on. I was like, what is he doing? But yeah, he was okay. But he's a backup, man. He's a backup quarterback. I don't understand why people think that if you put him in there, he's going to be just as great as Lamar is. No, he's a backup for a reason.
That needs to stop, that narrative.
I hate that narrative. And Brian, who's in the chat right now, was trolling me the whole game, talking about, is this your guy? Is this your man? I like Tyler Huntley. Tyler Huntley is a good backup quarterback. Is he Lamar Jackson? No, he is not. But and that's not his fault either. He's just what he is. But it's just sad right now, man, because now the Ravens are. I hate to say this, the Ravens are getting exposed big time of what they don't have. Usually they can get away with this type of stuff, and they can, sugarcoat it, and they can, jazz it up a little bit with the jazz hands. They can do all kinds of things. But right now they you can see their flaws big time, and there's ugly, ugly.
Brian, Raj, and I were talking before the game. It's boring watching the Ravens play. It's depressing. It will kill your mood. You'll be having a great day. You'll have some good news. You'll feel good. You watch the Ravens, you'll be sad, depressed. You might need heart medicine or high blood pressure medicine. They'll do something stupid that just will stress you out worse than your normal life. This is supposed to be an escape for us. Football, sports, things we get to see, especially during football season. We love this team, but you could be doing laundry. You could be taking a nap. You could be hanging out with your significant other, going to the movies to see Avatar for 3 hours and 20 minutes for all of this. I mean, like our brother Raj did. But Brian, it is, if we weren't here for you guys, I might not even watch this game today. I might have watched the first game and the game that's on now. But the Ravens games, man, you can literally go walk your dog, come back, and nothing will happen. It's really no excitement. These other games, they're exciting. The Ravens don't play an exciting brand of football, and they're getting left behind, like Raj said, and getting exposed, man.
But hold up, you know what? Shout out to Engraven Viz, man, because while I was watching the game, I was on the live stream earlier. I was on a live stream with him when he was doing his live stream, and he was trying to keep the mood positive. He was trying to, keep up with the chat, telling the chat to chill out. We're gonna be okay. We got this. And I'm in the back of my mind, I'm like, nah, we don't got this. We don't got this, man. We don't have this at all. But he's team keep it clean. He's a positive brother.
Yes, he was keeping it clean.
He was keeping it clean, and I was trying to follow his lead, man. But yeah, man, we just didn't have it at all. There was no.
It's the Christmas season. It's the holiday season. The end of another year, going to another year. We should be happy, excited, and we're sad. And it's already enough going on in the city as we know about, man. And I want to bring up real quick this running game, man. 1 carry in the fourth quarter. J.K. Dobbins, 13 carries, 125 yards. He's averaging almost 10 yards a carry, Raj. 37-yard long. Gus Edwards, 7 for 55, averaging 8 yards a carry. They don't give them the ball in the fourth quarter. I get you playing from behind, but you got to, at this point, run the ball. It's better than anything else you're doing. You can get yardage with that. What's up with this running game, man? It's actually looking great, like 2019 the past couple of weeks. J.K.'s looking like he's getting healthy. Gus is doing what he does. Huntley even had 15 yards.
It's play calling. That's all I can say is play calling. I mean, you see what's working, and you go away from it, and you don't go back to it. Especially when you need to go to it. You don't do it. You decide to throw the football because you're down by 10 points. And it's like, come on, man. It's not rocket science. They make this game too hard. And it's just, it shouldn't be that hard. I mean, you see JK, you see Gus doing what they're supposed to do. Your running schemes are exponentially phenomenal, which they are. He's a great run game coordinator. He's phenomenal. But when it comes to, wait a minute, hold up.
What's going on, D? It's Rogers. About to pull something up, I think. Hey, Judge, what's going on, brother? Appreciate you. Yes, D, it has saved 3 years of your life, and I've probably lost 3 years of my life. This whole season has probably taken about 5 off my life total. It's been ridiculous to say the least. It's been pretty sad, pretty sad. But the running game, man, these guys are running the football effectively in 1 carry in the fourth quarter. I can't believe that, man. They were literally getting almost 10 yards a carry was JK, and Gus was getting 8 yards a carry.
Yeah, I was coughing up a storm for a minute. You ain't had it. That's great. But like I was saying, they go away from the run, and they do it too often, and they don't stick with what got them there. They just go away from it, and it shows a lot, man. It just shows. And Greg Roman he's not really good at adjustments at all, as you can see, and John Harbaugh's not good with adjustments either because he doesn't check him. So he should have been in tune with that. But I'm saying a lot because these are the same people that actually went into a timeout situation and they came out the timeout and got a delay of game. So I mean, I'm sitting at Dave and Buster's. I'm looking at the dude next to me. The dude next to me is like, "Did that just happen?" I'm like, "Yeah, it did." There's certain things like that, man.
Jugs, yes, I know your dad is a Dolphins fan, I believe, Jugs. Hopefully they're keeping it close right now. And boy, does Tua have weapons. They were making the Bills corners look trash, but I'm gonna leave that alone. Yes, we're not too keen on the Bills here either, Jugs. Let's get to these receivers real quick before we wrap up the offense. Andrews 3 for 31, Duvernay 2 for 29. I mean, Demarcus Robinson 6 for 29. Isaiah Likely had 2 for 18. Justice Hill had 1 for 15. Josh Oliver 2 for 13. A lot of dinking and dunking, Raj, and no yak whatsoever.
No yak whatsoever, bro. No yak whatsoever. It's a problem. It's been a problem. It's been a problem since Rashad Bateman went down. Trevor Duvernay is not the guy. I want him to be the guy, but he doesn't want to be the guy. Give me another minute.
Yeah, the Ravens receivers, no type of yak yardage, and I mean it's making Raj over there about to cough up his dinner from Dave and Buster's. Man, that's how bad it is. But Andrews, as I mentioned before, I don't think Andrews is 100% healthy. He's playing with one arm, 3 catches on 7 targets. I mean Duvernay 2 for 29. I think he had a drop in the end zone. Robinson 6 for 29. These guys aren't getting any big time plays after they catch the football. They're just catching the ball and going right down. So it's really tough to watch. And like I said, no receiving touchdown since week 3 for any of the receivers. Yep, just a guy. What did they call him? A Jag. JAG. Just a guy. Nothing special about him. And Greg Roman scheming, as Raj mentioned, doesn't scheme people open and doesn't allow guys to create any mismatches. And like I said, that one play to Justice Hill was fantastic. Then they come back and do a screen to Duvernay. And then after that, you don't see anything like that the rest of the game. They get 1 or 2 good plays, and they don't call the plays or go back into the vault anymore during the game. And it's ridiculous, man, through watching this team. And and Brian, like you mentioned, 1 carry for Gus and JK is terrible, man.
Man, I had to grab a halls, man.
I know, man. I know watching the Ravens make you sick, man. I know, man. Make you throw up that good Dave and Buster's food you have, man.
Literally, it makes me sick. But that, like I said, that wide receiving core, it's just not good. It really isn't. Like I said, I wish Trevor Duvernay was the guy, but he's just a guy, like D said. And Robinson was a guy that got cut from the Raiders that we happened to pick up, and we made him the number 1. Well, the number 2. Now he's the number 1. But there's nobody on this squad that can do anything significant. You see, great example. You see that the Minnesota Vikings are getting blown out by 33 points by the Colts. They have all kinds of weapons on that team. And in the second half, Justin Jefferson went crazy. Dalvin Cook went crazy. Adam Thielen went crazy. And all of a sudden, they came back from a serious deficit to come back in overtime and win by 3 points.
Greatest comeback in NFL history as far as points.
The greatest comeback ever. and it's just like, you don't have anybody like that on your team. Well, wide receiving wise, JK probably could do something like that. But as far as why, you don't have those guys. You don't have anything like that. And that's why I can't really judge Tyler Huntley or Lamar Jackson, to be honest with you, because they don't have these guys. They don't. And then the play calling is just as terrible. You can see it on the screen. Everybody's in the same place, in the same vicinity. You just got 3 receivers in the same.
Bro, I think there was a next gen stat. They ran 100% zone against the Ravens today. 100%. Not 99, not 99.5. 100% zone. And like you said, only 3 guys on the route. What the hell are y'all doing?
Even the Browns don't respect Greg Roman that much. They just like, well, we're gonna play zone all day. They can't beat the zone, so we'll just stay in zone. So, because we knew that they were weak. We're weak up the middle as far as running the football. I think they're 22nd, I believe, in the league or something like that. At stopping the run, they knew they couldn't stop the run, so they said we can live with that. we'll stop everything else. And that's exactly what they did. They stopped everything else.
Real quick, Raj, let's look at the offensive line real quick. Ronnie Stanley did play. They did give up 3 sacks, but they really didn't give up but 1 sack through like the
Oh,
first end of the game.
I'm sorry. That's 28th. That's 28th. Okay. I was
Excuse me.
close.
Sorry, Brian, we were off. But yeah, what do you think about the offensive line? I think running wise, they're fantastic. Pass protection, they kind of are what they are.
They were okay today. I mean, Ronnie Stan, they did their job. I mean, they got those running lanes open. Tyler Huntley had a lot of time to throw the football, a lot of time. And so to me, they did their job. They were good. I kind of did want to see what Ben Cleveland was going to do. Brian had showed me a video about him about last week's game when he was playing. He played extremely well last week, and I was hoping to see him, do some more today, but he was inactive. But either way, the offensive line did their job. They ran the ball effectively when they was able to run the football, and Tyler Huntley had plenty of time to throw the football. Now, everything else, they to me they get like I guess a B plus.
Real quick, while it's on my mind, just showing up is the updated AFC playoff picture. If the playoffs started today, which they don't, the Ravens would be the 5 seed, highest wild card, and play the Tennessee Titans. I actually like that matchup for the Ravens. I actually kind of would prefer that than having to play maybe a Cincinnati or Miami at home. I would probably rather at this point go to Tennessee. They can't score a lot of points, neither can the Ravens. So just
Be
to
another
renew that rivalry.
ugly. They just be an ugly game.
Yes, renew that rivalry. But defensively, Raj, real quick, David Ajapo, they said he played today, but I didn't see him. I know our good friend D used to do a milk carton awards. And for people who didn't show up and were missing, D, I don't know if you're still watching, we're going to have to put David Ajapo on the milk carton. He's been practicing for 2 months. They said he was active today. The Ravens even did a press release about it. I did not see him show up in the stat sheet. I don't remember seeing him on the field at all, wearing number 90. Didn't see him at one time. What do you think about David Ajapo?
He was playing special teams, from what I heard. He played like one snap that I did see. Other than that, he was on special teams, but he did play. Of course, he didn't really make an impact because he wasn't out there a lot. But I guess the next game he'll make some more. He'll make a couple more appearances, and maybe the game after that he'll be in there a little bit more. They're just easing him on back in, which they should have been did, honestly. But that's neither here nor there. I'm sure we'll see more going forward.
Defensively, Roquan Smith, 11 tackles. Kyle Hamilton has 7 tackles and a sack. I think he had a pretty good game. Humphrey has 6 tackles. I think Humphrey did a better job today, not giving up big plays. Marcus Williams had 6 tackles. Patrick Queen had half a sack. Owe had half a sack as well. So your thoughts on the defense, Raj?
They played out. They did what they could do. They kept them in the game, the whole game. I'm not upset with them. I'm not mad with them. They really didn't give up too much. They did their jobs. It sucks that Marcus Peters and Calais Campbell went down the way they did. Hopefully they're okay, and they're not out for the season. But I like what Kyle Hamilton was doing out there. He played okay. He had a couple nice tackles. I think he had a sack, I believe.
Yep, he had a sack. Queen had half a sack, and Owe had half a sack.
Yep. So they did their thing. They played well. I usually talk trash about the defense, but today I can't really say anything bad because they were the bright spot of this team. So, they kept the Ravens in the game. They had plenty of opportunities because of them, and they did a good job for what they was able to do.
Yes, I believe Marcus Peters had a lower leg injury. I believe it was calf, and Calais Campbell looks like it was knee. So hopefully not season ending. Special teams, Raj. Justin Tucker, 2 missed field goals. 1 was blocked. Only 1 punt today. What do you think about the special teams?
Very uncharacteristic. Ugh, can't even say the word. It's not like Justin Tucker to miss two kicks in the game. Now he had 1 blocked. The other one he just completely missed. They're very, very long kicks, but that's no excuse. It just wasn't his day today, and sometimes that happens. I think the last time we seen that was the Buffalo Bills game in the playoffs 2 years ago. So yeah, it happens, man. It happens. I mean, he's reliable. He'll kick him through, but just like the offense, even special teams was off. So it is what it is, man. I'm pretty sure he'll bounce back next week, and when he comes back to Baltimore.
Well, he does have now the most made field goals in Ravens history. So congrats to Justin Tucker. Already passed him masked over last week for most points. So he
Mm-hmm.
is going to shatter those records, which will never be broken, in my opinion. And first time, as I mentioned earlier, 2 missed field goals since 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And he was kicking before the game from the other side of the field, the 45? So he was
Yeah.
kicking like a 70-yard, 65, 70-yard field goal, and then he misses in the game. It's just one of those first miss from from 50 yards or in this season as well. So he's been automatic. You can't really be too mad at him.
Yeah, I'm not mad at him. I mean, a lot of it is what it is. If the Ravens would have kicked the field goal from the first play of the first drive of the game, they would have been down by a touchdown. So I'm not mad at him at all. It is what it is.
I want to get your thoughts on Deshaun Watson. Third start, first home game, 18 of 28, 161, 1 touchdown. Chubb had 21 for 99. They start running and gashing the Ravens at the end. Mark Cooper had 4 for 58. Peoples Jones had a touchdown. And Joku had 28 yards. Do you feel we know Myles Garrett and what they can do on defense, Denzel Ward? Do you feel like Cleveland is a team that's building momentum, especially going into next year now with their quarterback who is a perennial top 5, top 10 quarterback, depending on who you ask?
There'll be a problem. They're going to be an extreme problem next year. They're showing signs of it right now. They, of course, is not fully put together just yet. They're gonna need some little bit more pieces, but from what I've seen today, Deshaun Watson is a problem. He's always been a problem. We know this already. He's very mobile. He's hard to get down. He's hard to track, and when he gets a guy open, he gives him the ball, literally. So yeah, man, I think they're gonna be a real problem for next year's going into next year. They're gonna be a problem, and they was an extreme problem today. Although they missed, although they was able to stop the run with Chubb a little bit, and Amari Cooper, he was okay at times, but yeah, man, I mean Deshaun Watson, he's a game changer for them, and he's knocking the rust off right now. He the first game that he came back against Houston, he was extremely rusty. Last week, he was still rusty, but this week he looked a little bit more poised. He was finding his targets. He was hitting them, and they're gonna be a problem, man. They really are. So I would be I'm really I'm not well. I gotta see what they do when they go into the off season, but as of right now, look out for them. They're gonna be very scary in the AFC North.
Brian, Cleveland isn't afraid to pay people. I'll just say that. So they're going to pay people because they gave up all their draft picks for Deshaun Watson. All right, let's get game ball, not so game ball, Raj. I want to get your game ball, not so game ball, and then let's look ahead to week 16. Game ball, not so game ball, brother.
My game ball goes to I guess I got to go back to J.K. Dobbins again. I mean, he was phenomenal. I mean, even on a partially healed leg, he's carrying this football team literally. Like in the 2 games that he's came back, he's looking great. I wish we had him for the whole season. I wish he would have started from day one. That's how great this brother is looking right now, and I think he's going to get even better next week and the week after that, as long as he stays healthy. But yeah, he's not going down every time he breaks all kinds of tackles right now. He's not going down after first contact, which is great. So he gets my game ball yet again. My not so game ball, it has to go to I guess Demarcus Robinson, man. He had a completely off day today. Not saying that he's the greatest wide receiver ever or he's a good wide receiver. He's an okay wide receiver. He's average. But he played extremely poorly today. I mean, he fumbled the ball I mean, he almost fumbled another ball, and I think he dropped another ball too, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, he had a completely awful game today, but he wasn't the only one. He was just like the main one that got caught with his hands in the cookie jar. So he gets my national game ball. J.K. Dobbins gets my game ball, and I guess for an honorable mention, Deshaun Watson will get a game ball as well for being poised and being able to exploit a couple of weaknesses on that defense. Um, so welcome back, Deshaun.
Real quick, and that's another factor. We haven't seen a healthy Lamar, healthy Ronley Stanley, healthy JK, and a healthy Gus Edwards since what 2019, Raj?
Yeah, since 3 years ago.
So I mean, we gotta take that into account as well. When the Ravens are at their best, they had those guys in place and they can run the ball because JK is a playmaker with Lamar. I think they do have a playmaker in the backfield, but as we mentioned, the receiver position as well. Let's look ahead to week 16 before we get out of here. 15, excuse me. Oh no, it is week 16 next week. Damn, the season's almost over, Raj.
Season's almost over.
17, 18 weeks, 17 games. Gotta remember that. Week 16, Christmas Eve, another Saturday, Raj. I know you're delighted about that. Oh joy. Atlanta Falcons coming to town. Desmond Ritter, rookie quarterback, will be starting for the Ravens. Thankfully, against his defense, that should bode well. Harbaugh has a good record against rookies. We saw what he did, well, to pick it
Mhm.
last week. But what do you think about this game, man? Coming home, we may see Lamar. I probably would just keep Huntley in, give him another week. But
It's 50-50 right now. We might see Lamar, we might not, but this is a must-win game for the Ravens. They have to win this game because, granted, they could beat the Steelers next week, but I wouldn't put it past them to lose to them or the Cincinnati Bengals in the last week of the season. This is a must-win game next week. They have to get to 10 wins. I think if they get to 10 wins, they're in. So they have to win. They got to find a way to win. Um, and I hate to say this because they might do it, but even if Lamar Jackson has to come off the bench, you can start Tyler Huntley. But if Lamar Jackson has to be, if you could put him on the bench, if Tyler Huntley's playing like garbage, I would do that. Okay,
they
I would
did it
do
with
it.
the offensive lineman with Stanley.
Yeah, they did it with Stanley. If you got to put him
Never
on the
see
bench count, I would try it. But they have to win next week. I mean, Desmond Ritter is a rookie. I don't expect much from him. Don't know what he's going to do either, which is also scary. But um, yeah, they have to win. They have to win if they want to make the playoffs.
Yes. Falcons, Steelers, then which could be the last game of the regular season, which could be that Sunday night last game, could be in Cincinnati, which I'm telling you now, I don't think they're gonna win. I'm just gonna keep saying it. I thought that from the beginning of the season. I actually thought this game was gonna be tough too. So boy, they gotta win their next two. They can win their next two, get to 11. I think, like you said, Raj, they'll be safe. But
I'm just looking. I'm a game at a time, right? Game at a
yeah,
time.
yeah.
I don't know what happened next week. Hopefully they find a way to get that victory. After that, I don't know. Kenny Pickett might come back and destroy this team. You never know. You never know. If Kenny Pickett probably would have stayed in the game last week, I don't think they probably would have won. So I I mean we'll see, man, going down the stretch, but the wide receivers gotta do something, bro. They cannot have a game like they had today. Duvernay, Robinson, Andrews, Prochet, whoever else, they gotta step up, man. They have to help that quarterback. And they also got to, and Greg Roman call some better plays, man. You got to call some better plays. Get the play call in, man. Get the play call in faster, man. There's no way in hell you should have had a delay of game coming off of a timeout. No way. Ridiculous.
Well, that's pretty much it, Raj. Anything else before we get ready to get out of here?
I mean, just keep hope alive, man. Just keep hope alive, Ravens fans. I know that today was a tough game. It was an awful showing on the road in Cleveland at a primetime slot at 4:30 on a Saturday, which I hate. But there might be some positive things coming out of this. Like I said before, we were exposed a little bit. But it also shows the organization that they need to go out there. They need to get some help for Lamar Jackson. And hopefully They are able to sign him in the offseason, him and Roquan, and they can reassess and realign and do some things that we've been asking them to do for the past couple of years now, which is actually have a better effort at putting offensive players around or skill positions around your quarterback. So either way, it's going to work out in our favor one way or another. At least that's what I think.
And there is a wide receiver who will be sitting in free agency, as it looks like he won't be signed this season. Odell Beckham, a fully healthy Odell Beckham. Give him the money now, Eric DaCosta. Just give him a blank check for a 1-year deal, man. Just give us a chance, please.
That's
But
right. Please.
I digress. Raj, let the people know how to keep up with the channel, what we got going on, like, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Please hit that like button, subscribe to the Flex Zone podcast, because we give you sports how you want it when you need it. We have a show on Monday at 10 p.m. We'll be talking about Week 15 recap, getting Dre's recap about the Ravens game. I guess Cravante's recap about the Giants and Commanders game coming on Sunday. So stay tuned for that.
Prime time.
Oh yeah, they're in prime time. So stay tuned for that. We also have the AEW Dynamite show coming on Wednesdays with the crew. And also we have pre-game set up for Falcons and Ravens game for Saturday. And we'll have the post show that Saturday night sometime. I'll probably be at Brian's house.
It is Christmas Eve, so the Flex Zone will be bringing you Christmas joy and hopefully a Ravens win. We will be doing the post-game show. I know Raj and myself will be here. May have to put Brian on the show, man. It's long overdue.
I mean, if the Ravens are losing, he would love to be on the show just to slide the living hell out of every Ravens fan that goes against Lamar Jackson, because that's his guy. So, yes, I probably will be there. I'll probably be doing a post-game show. Hopefully we get the victory. If we don't, there's going to be hell to pay.
Yes, go ahead, spike the eggnog now, drink it down, and hit the bell, subscribe, and like button to know when we're live. We'll be live after the Falcons game next week, Christmas Eve. This week, episode 372, we'll be talking NBA Christmas games, recapping the Ravens, talking about the Commanders, and whatever else comes across the rundown. Ravens preview will come out this week as well. And look for some more end of the year recap videos from yours truly. Probably ranking my top matches. I got to find time to do it, and top pay-per-views. A lot of content coming to the channel still. So with the holidays, we won't be stopping here on the Flex On podcast. Only place, Raj, give me sports how you want it.
When you need it.
Ravens lose 13-3, but we appreciate everybody who joined us in the chat. Brian and Graven, D, Jugs, everybody else watching who joined us later or will join us on the replay. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell, vote on a poll. And for Big Raj, the social media producer who makes these things possible, God's favorite host, the host of the Moist, signing out. Again, we'll be live next week for the Atlanta Falcons Ravens post-game show here on the Flex On Podcast Show. Have a great night. Thank y'all for joining us. Peace. We'll see you on Monday.